Man, we're having a ball out there. All right, let's do the picture. All right, you ready? Squeeze in tight. We're going to say breakaway on the count of 3. You ready? 1, 2, 3, breakaway! All right, ladies and gentlemen, give these guys a round of applause, but don't... Let me see. I gotta check my notes, make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Okay. Oh, you are right. I have to thank Mama Hope down here for giving birth to me. She puts up with a lot, y'all. She puts up, okay, 5:55 this morning. She was putting up with it, all right? So, all right. Do y'all want me to bring out some cool people and let's chat? Is that okay? Can we do that? All right, so the first people that I am going to bring out, you know them, you love them. Show your love for Jason and Elisa with EECC Travels. Come on down, you're the next contestant on the cruiser is, right? Take your seat there, baby. Now we're going to keep that applause going for the one, the only, the lovely Sharon and Jamie with Sharon at Sea, ladies and gentlemen. Folks, show your love for the man, the myth, the Locador legend. Give it up for Tony B. There he is. And folks, if there's Tony, there's also going to be another amazing YouTube legend. Show your love for Don with Don's Family Vacations. Look at that, Don, just the way it was supposed to be. Now, folks, this chair is for me. My name is Josh with Cruise with Josh. I'm so excited to be here with you today. Helping us out in the audience is going to be Mr. himself, John. John, take it away, my friend. Maybe.
I don't have the microphone on. Yeah. So, you know, before we get started with this, I just have to say, I'm looking around this room and I'm seeing all these people, and like I can't help but notice like the community that all of you guys have helped build. And I mean, this is freaking awesome, y'all. Right? Give it up. Raise your hand or get my attention, Bagak, I don't care, whatever you gotta do. But I'll come find you and I'll hold the microphone for you. So if you have a question, have it ready and let's get started. All right, I see you, I'll be right back. You were ready.
Good morning, James from Chicago, part of the Cruise Critic. This is for Tony. I'm dying to know what is the punishment for today.
See, I'm not the only one.
There we go. Yeah, I should have. I hate to punish so many lovely people, but look, if you, what do you have to do today? Make sure everybody is liked and subscribed to everybody up here. And unfortunately, if you do not like and subscribe to everybody up here, I will be forced to punish you, which is something the universe has made me do. And my punishment will be this. You will be a part of the 24-hour Boktober marathon, and you will be assigned a slot where all you will do is bagak for 24 hours.
Trust me, you don't want that.
While listening to the bagak, which is wonderful, but 24 hours, I don't even think John Clayco could do that for 24 hours.
I'm already bagaked out.
That's a good question. Good to meet you.
Hi, Les from Canada. Lodongo. Woo! My question is, who actually originally thought of this idea, and how did it become what it is?
Hello. Hey. I guess I will take credit for that one. I think a lot of people probably had this idea in the back of their head, but I just one day said, you know, why don't we get everybody together and do one big group cruise with everybody? And we've got so many great creators on board with us, and so there's us, but there's so many more. So tomorrow you guys are going to get to meet a whole lot more creators. So let's keep building this community because it's awesome.
I have a question. Hi, Slinky. And as somebody who's been following a lot of y'all, I think since at least 2013 or so, I'm trying to place my memory. When did y'all each start your channels? Do you mind me asking?
Okay, I'll start. We started January 2016.
Actually, our first video was October, I believe, 2016.
We started April 2017.
April 2017.
I think mine was like 2015, maybe. Was it April of 2015? Yeah, April of 2015. Well, I was 3 years old. And I'm 6 now.
How many hats did you bring, John?
Oh my.
I'll tell you what. Over 30. But yesterday was my birthday, so I was out late. I didn't unpack. They're scattered around the room, but I'll have an update later. There's more than 30, I guarantee you that. Nancy has a question. I knew you'd have something to say.
Okay, this is serious. If each of you were in a tournament, say an air hockey tournament, who would win?
Oh yeah, there you go.
Clearly, it would be me. Yeah, clearly.
As the Canadian here. Although I said the same thing about mini golf and then Tony Deacon won. I've seen Don air hockey, ice hockey. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's in the Olympics. It's in the Olympics, I think. Of course, I'm the one that's had the coach. I would win in air hockey.
Listen, I think a lot of people may have seen the video, and by a split second, I didn't win. Everybody saw it. I had the last goal. I proclaimed myself a victor, and then it was taken from me.
Oh, shots fired. Shots fired. Wow.
Alright, I didn't think it was going to turn like that on me, but what can I do? Well, listen, I mean, maybe I'm pretty sure there might be an air hockey table adjacent to Ocean if anyone's seen it up there. So maybe you want to meet me at some point during the cruise and we can...
I mean, Don is already proclaimed, so I think you should.
We'll see. Well, I think people want a rematch. I think they want a rematch. Hold on, you're calling a stand-in? You're bringing in a ringer. You're bringing in a ringer, aren't you?
I've seen the one between you two so I can dominate them.
Alright, well, I think that might answer the question. How's your air hockey game? You may have beat me over the course of a couple of years. You're very competitive. You're very competitive. Alright, I don't know about you. How's your air hockey game?
It's been a while since I played, but you know, hey.
I didn't bring my pack.
Yeah, how about your headband and your wristband?
It looks like we're going to have to add
Pat,
another
you're talking
event.
about.
Yeah, that's I'm just kind of curious. I didn't find you guys until the startup again because I was researching getting back into cruising after, the tough time. What was it like for you guys? Did you think we'd start up again? Again, you already had this community that I just found, so I was curious what it was like for you guys.
You answer, I couldn't hear her.
Oh, and everyone, hold the microphone close to your mouth when you talk so we can hear you better. As far as the start, none of us ever thought that would last as long as it did, and I think everybody was just ready to cruise again. I think all of us were on one of the first cruises back, and so we were just ready to go. As soon as the CDC said we're on, we were on, so we were ready for it.
Yeah, same for us. We were on one of the first, actually we were on the first Carnival cruise back, and we were ready. We didn't really put a lot out during the shutdowns, just things here and there, so we were ready to get back at it.
Well, I think, listen, I would just want to say that, when this all happened in March of 2020, we had a big thing going on where we had teamed up with Tony and Jenny, and we had a big group cruise that was supposed to be happening, and that got squashed, and then we planned another one for a couple months later, and that one got squashed, and then we all just kind of sat tight. But I think one of the nicest compliments we've ever had is when people come up and say, hey, you helped us get through the pandemic. We watch your videos, your live streams, we did it for us, right, for our own therapy to get through it, and if it helped anybody else out as well, then hey, that's cool. So
Yeah, I'll just building on what Jamie said, it's like, we always thought it would come back. We just didn't know when, right? Like everything else in life, it was so in turmoil at that time. But, to what Jamie's saying, it's like for us, we were just sitting alone, isolated too. And so the ability to make something and connect, whatever we could, it was awesome. So thank you guys. As much as you've said thanks to us, thank you guys for being out there and watching what we were doing while we were, in the same boat, just kind of locked down. So we knew it was coming back. It was just we didn't know when, and so. But yeah, I can't thank you guys enough for being there for us, so that we could, stay connected to life and this cruise life that we love. So appreciate you guys a lot. Thank you.
All right, I'll follow that. A couple of us during the startup of the pandemic, there at the shutdown, we decided to do the brilliant thing of going daily. 700 episodes later. But truly, everyone here, it was great that everyone stuck with us during that need to find out what was going on with their own cruise. Because the insiders were getting to us before they would get to them. And the crew members were amazing during that time. And we felt so bad that they were off work all that time. So I'm glad to see them all back. And we're back.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know what much more that I can say because it's been covered. I would just build off of what Jamie said. The probably the number one thing that I get is thank you so much for your silly live streams helping us through the pandemic. Where I did, goodness gracious, couples yoga in my living room where I'm balancing. Matter of fact, Tony, do you want to try some couples? I tell you, just get up here and we'll okay. Well, all right, you ready? Yep. Now just now easy does it now. Now easy does it. Wait a minute. This is a. I feel abused. But it's silly stuff like that like Tony was saying, it was just as much therapy for us as it was for you guys, and it was a great way for us to kind of forget about all the bad in the world at that moment. And I think that was the greatest thing about it, is that at the end of the day, when you're watching that live stream, we all took a moment and paused and said, you know what, right now life is good. These guys are great to watch, they're great to talk to. I feel like they're my family, and we feel like you're ours. So thank you guys.
Good morning. Can y'all hear me? I'm a ham, I like the mic. But anyway, first and foremost, thank you so much to each and every one of you for keeping hope alive to cruise again. We had just started cruising, just fell in love with it, and then the pandemic hit. So truly, thank you so much. But fun question. Each of you, if you don't mind, what is your most embarrassing cruise moment that maybe you didn't even vlog?
I'm gonna get this out of the way. So you see, it was 2020 on the Carnival Mardi Gras. No, I'm just kidding. My most embarrassing cruise moment probably would be when I was doing the wobble on a mega deck party on a Carnival cruise, and the deck was slippery, and I went to jump forward, and I kept right on going forward. And you know, I think it was a group cruise, so there was like 25 cameras on that. And, you know, there's either that or the time that I went rogue on some towel animals after one too many drinks, but we won't talk about that.
There's too many to list. So I'm gonna go with the very first time I ever did the Yes No game show. And my nephew Mark, if anyone ever saw his video when he was on with me, he lasted 3 seconds. I said, "Your name's Mark, right?" "Yes." So I was making fun of him for like 7 months, and then I did my first 11 seconds. So yeah, didn't put my money on that.
Yeah, for me, it had to be like maybe the second cruise or something like that. I love to nap. Like, I think nap should be a lifestyle, so I nap every day. Nap every day, and it'll change your life. I feel way much more productive. But so I took like one of my first or second cruise naps. I think it was on the Carnival Liberty, and I didn't know you're supposed to put the "Do Not Disturb" sign when you're taking a midday nap. And so I was just, you know, I was just in my underpants, right, and you know, laying on top of the sheets there, and I think they delivered room service, and I was like, oh, they'll just walk right in the room. So that was the most embarrassing thing. And you quickly, like, it was one of those teachable moments, as I like to say. I'm very familiar with the privacy sign now, so but, yeah, that was it for me.
I don't know. This is a tough one because I'm not really easily embarrassed. I mean, I've done a lot of dumb things, and you know, if some of you know me, I have a little bit of an alter ego that will appear a little bit later on in the evening, and somehow in a video a while ago, I went from Jamie to Jimmy. And Jimmy comes out late at night, and some people say, "Is Jimmy coming out tonight? And what's Jimmy doing? And are we gonna have a Jimmy sighting?" But one person that doesn't really like to see Jimmy is Sharon. And she literally will say to me, "Hey, on this cruise, Jimmy's not coming. Don't pack anything for him. Don't bring his luggage. He's staying home." So I guess just there can be many Jimmy nights where, you know, you're just going, you hit the wall, and then you find yourself napping in the middle of a group of 8 or 10 of your friends for a few minutes. That's probably it. Sharon, how about you?
You know she wants to answer this.
Well, actually, I was going to say something else, but purse and a whole glass of wine got spilled by Jimmy all over my purse. So that was a little embarrassing. That's not what I was actually going to say, but you made me think of that. So there you go.
All right, guys. So it's been a great day. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Have a fun time on the ship.
Let's see. So probably the most embarrassing was on the Mardi Gras, I think. I don't know if anyone's been on it where, you know, the public bathrooms have that weird thing how they just kind of open up and close. Well, having people walk in on you in the bathroom, I think was probably, that's probably the most embarrassing. So after that, I decided I had to walk back to my cabin every time I go to the bathroom.
That's happened to me as well. A little too much to drink and forgot to hit the button in the handicap one. But mine is pretty rough. It was on the Carnival Vista, and they pulled me in a lineup. What was the cruise director? Matt Mitchell. To do the YMCA, and I'd ripped my shirt off in the middle of it and threw it somewhere, and that was my favorite shirt, and I really miss that shirt to this day. That was quite embarrassing because a lot of people filmed that, sent that to me and showed me. Very embarrassing.
I'm going to be the boring one up here because I can't really think of much of anything until Sharon said something about that bathroom, because that happened to me too. That is the most confusing bathroom on the face of the earth. You can't figure out how to lock the thing, and then somebody's going to walk in on you. So I'm with you on that one.
I'm Izzy from Teresa. I'm Izzy from Pennsylvania. In the 6 or 7 years that y'all have been doing this, the vlogging, how has vlogging changed? Your audience, your subscribers, their needs, what they want from the industry, what they want from you. How has that evolved over the last 7 years?
Well, for us, this started just as a hobby. I mean, it was just, hey, let's record on our vacations. And it was our kids' idea for us to start a YouTube channel. So it started as just every now and then, let's go on a vacation and film something, to people asking me if I'm a travel agent. I became a travel agent. And, you know, we started putting these amazing cruises together and doing tips videos and vlog videos. And then during the pandemic, trying to figure out what else to do other than cruising, we got into the all-inclusives. So much has changed since we started this channel, and it's just been an amazing experience. I mean, going from something that we thought nobody would ever watch to actually having an audience, and it blows our minds every day that, you know, that this has happened. And it's been a whirlwind, and it's amazing, and meeting all of you wonderful people has just been great. So vlogging has changed a lot since the very beginning.
And I'll just kind of bounce off that. We had no intention of doing this. Going to Disney, she had this camera. She got the camera. It's all her fault. And she's waving in everybody's face, and I was just not into it at all because, you know, like she said, I just didn't, you know, I was very uncomfortable with being on camera. I'm quite a shy person, actually. I'm terrified right now, if you can't tell. But anyway, then our sons, our twin boys, were like, you know, why don't you guys do a YouTube channel? And I'm like, oh, hell no. And she was like, hell yes. And boom, off we go. And, you know, when we started out, she was doing the editing just on iMovie. And yeah, we've come a long way since the beginning, believe me. And then things started kind of rolling, and people started watching, and we just could not believe it. And then the next thing you know, she became a travel agent. She says, look, I need your help. And I'm like, what can I do? And she says, well, learn editing. I took over the editing and started really getting involved in doing camera work and trying to learn on the fly. And then it's just kind of taken off. And with the support of all you awesome people, it's grown. And it keeps growing, and we are just truly blessed to be here, and we're having an awesome time.
Our story is actually very similar to theirs. So we started back with, I actually was working as a nurse. I started putting out some tip videos. We were into cruising mainly because of our son. We were into cruising with families and kids a lot. So we put up tip videos on that. Then we took our first cruise it wasn't our first cruise, but our first cruise that we vlogged in 2016. And we decided to, you know, start doing some vlogs as well. I became a travel agent and quit my nursing job eventually. And we just kind of went from there and just, you know, slowly put things out. I edited the videos at first when we first started, and then Jamie got more involved and he took over that. It was like there because it was just too much for one person. So kind of very similar. We just kind of slowly grew and made a change, and we just try to keep putting out as much as we can and moving forward. So we love it. We love cruising, and we love the community, and about putting out the videos.
All right, now as far as like taking over doing editing and making the vlogs, I mean, I'm sitting here like, okay, there's a lot of young tech-oriented people out there, and I'm looking at this computer and I'm like, okay, what is this? I'm 48 years old, I'm like, how do I do this? What am I supposed to do? You take the video, you put it into this thing, and then you cut it, you paste it, and you do all this stuff. So it took a little while to figure all that out. But as far as how the vlogging changed, I think our son dictated a lot of how our vlogging changed, because in the beginning, there was a lot of focus on him and us and cruising together. And then there was about a 3-year window where he was just like, and some of you might relate to this, he's like, what are you doing? Put that camera down. You're so embarrassing. It's ridiculous. Don't say hi to me if you see me on the ship. I don't want any of my friends to know, that I know you. And it was a whole different vibe. And now he's kind of getting back into it and appreciating it. And by the way, thank you from both of us and on his behalf, everybody who acknowledged his birthday yesterday and gave him some props and love. And he really loved it. He turned 18. For anyone keeping track, he's down $60 in the casino right now. But we're hoping he can come back later. And but yeah, I mean, I think that's it. And you learn a little bit about vlogging. And back in the day, everything was trying to make it as big as possible. And I think now you try to make it as short and sweet as possible. And you just try to make something entertaining. And I guess the biggest challenge we have is you see my face a lot on the vlogs, and we get a lot of comments like, I thought this channel was Sharon at Sea, and who is this jerk? And he won't shut up. And I'm like, hey, listen, the camera's just really heavy, and Sharon can't hold it for that long, so that's why I have to do it.
All right, before I get my answer, can you guys do me a favor? Yeah, all right. So, of course, my better half is not here, and she worked extremely hard to put this together, and she's really missing all you guys, and she's glad that everybody's having a great time. But can you guys, on the count of 3, just say hello to Jenny B? All right, so here we go. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so interestingly, it was really neat. Like when we started vlogging, very similar stories. We were just making videos for our kids, and I think it was 2017. I was 46, and the average age of cruiser I think is like 48, 49, and so not really a lot of people watching YouTube. And so I think when we started, a lot less people watched YouTube, and I feel like there were people making cruising content, but we didn't have these communities. And so I think the coolest evolution for me over the last 5 years is to see new creators spring up, to see communities spring up, and to be able to have these kind of connections. It's neat because everybody's looking for their tribe, right? When we first started cruising, I really fell in love with it, and I would go to my day job, and it would be like, would you shut up? Like, we don't really care about the cruise. We don't know what you're talking about. We don't understand the magic. And so you're just like wandering in the wilderness, like, where's my people? And all of a sudden, 5 years later, 2 years later, as we all made videos and more people watch YouTube and build communities, I'm like Jason. I'm the shy guy. I'm not good at making friends, but then I see a whole row of friends here that happened because we sat in our rooms and made videos. So it's very satisfying to know that just whatever we did, to make films for our kids or to try to make stuff to entertain and to inform, all of a sudden we're seeing lifelong friendships. So it's I think that's been the big difference in the last 5 years, and it's really been special to kind of see that grow. So that's why we're all here. Actually, the last 5 years is kind of why we're here. So again, it's just a big thank you to you guys, because if you weren't part of these communities, we'd just still be making videos in our room, and I wouldn't get to beat Jamie at air hockey so frequently. So.
The gauntlet is thrown. Well, I also, that question about the most embarrassing moment, you notice they all started with this one time on Carnival? It's true. I actually started my channel because I decided to become a travel agent when I had to change my jobs. And I live in Ottawa, Canada. In case you don't know, it's the cruise capital of the world. We are 1,000 miles from the nearest ocean. And so I said, who's going to find out? And how am I ever going to sell something? So I said, I'm going to start a little YouTube And everybody told me, Don, you're 55. Are you crazy? That's a young person's thing. And I got my back up because I hate being challenged and told I can't do anything. So I started it, and they're not laughing anymore. Right? So if anyone ever tells you, why are you doing that? And if you're doing it for fun and just having a great time, just do it, because you just never know. It's changed my life, it's probably changed everybody up here's life for the better, I think. And it's amazing how many great people we've met. Like lifelong friends that I've never met before in my life, and they're my lifelong friends. So it's terrific, and you guys are right in there with all of us. We really do appreciate you. When we say it, we honestly do.
That's absolutely right. I am that young person that you're talking about, Don. I am that person. No, my journey, I think, started, I was like 13. Really, I was 13. And my friend, he had just started a vlog, and vlog was a new thing at that point, right? It was brand new. And I was like, well, what is it? And he said, oh, you just, you video about your day, and then you upload it to YouTube. And that was about 6 months before we went on the Carnival Breeze for my, I think it was for graduation, no? Yeah, my graduation. I have another mom over here, apparently. I have 1,000 of them, I just haven't met them all yet. So it's for my graduation, and I was like, oh, I'll film that. Why not? That seems kind of fun. I like vacations. I'm a kid, whatever. And so I did, and I uploaded it to YouTube, because it was either that or Vimeo. And well, anyway, so I uploaded it to YouTube, and it kind of forgot about it. And I think it was maybe a year and a half later, I remember that I had it. And I said, well, let me check it out. And it had one of the videos had 4,000 views, and I was like, to at that time 14, 15-year-old Josh, I was like, holy cow, I am Justin Bieber walking down the street right now. I got 4,000 views, And so I was like, wow, that was neat, and I kind of enjoyed the edit process. And so I don't know about you guys, but I really enjoy the edit process. I enjoy creating and making. I've always been a get my hands dirty kind of guy, and kind of be able to make something that I know 100% I did the idea, I did the shot, I did the edit, and I did the posting and production. To me, that is so rewarding. And then to have people like you that say, man, Josh, I got so much value out of that, or that was so fun, thank you for brightening my day. It's the biggest reward, and I think at the end of the day, that's probably why we all do it. It is because it is so rewarding and so fulfilling to know that you made somebody else's day brighter. You maybe were the reason that they laughed or smiled today instead of cried. And for that, it's all worth it. So thank you.
This question's now for Dan. There was one particular video when you were in Glacier Bay, and you were out in your balcony, and you had loud laughing music or whatever, and I have to say it was probably one of the most funniest videos. I was hoping you would continue that video, because I'd like to know how it ended.
It ended with me sitting on the balcony like this. We're in the most scenic, beautiful place on earth in Glacier Bay, and people directly beside me are playing their music super loud, and it's not good music. But yeah, that's why when I go to Alaska, I always do back-to-back, because I get a second shot at Glacier Bay. So when one didn't go, the next one went really well.
I have a loud voice anyway, so I'm Erin. I have, I guess it's like a two-part question. I think it's kind of obvious in a cruising environment that you guys are recognized. But do you get recognized while you're out, eating local, at the local restaurant, eating dinner or grocery shopping, or and then is it to a point that I don't know what the right word, being famous? Is it becoming a safety concern, or do you do anything to be aware of your safety now?
community reached out to me. I had biker gangs, police officers, military saying, "We'll meet you at the hotel and we'll bring you to the cruise." I said, "No, it's okay. I think I can handle it." Of course, the person never shows up and stuff like that. So there's always those people out there. But there's far more better stories, like the lady who I met in Alaska, who I thought was kind of stalking me, and it turned out she was going through cancer treatments and stuff like that, and heard my story, and she just followed me around the town and was too scared to come up and say hi. And I kind of kept on seeing her out of the corner of my eyes, and then I finally caught him around the corner, and she just burst out in tears. It was one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had, to meet people like that. And so, no, are we famous on cruise ships? Yeah. The weirdest thing is when you're in Walmart and you got a toque on and you got your mask on and people still recognize you. It's great. I was walking down the street in the middle of Florida and I hear this screeching sound and the car's swerving over to the corner like this. And I'm going, oh my God, I almost got hit by a car. Are you Don? So yeah, it's weird because you don't think about it, but it's awesome in so many ways, and it's never an issue to come up and say hi, ever, 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 because yeah, we wouldn't be here at all if it wasn't for everyone watching. So I don't think anyone out there has ever said I've hurried away or walked away, because I will make time every single time because it's amazing to me.
Let me add, the only time it's not is if I'm at the urinal. Give me... Let's just wait till I wash my hands, okay? Yeah, you know, I'd like to say, back home, you know, the question that sometimes I'll get asked is, oh, when I tell them about YouTube, oh, are you famous? And I always say, well, in this kind of thing, the answer could be yes, but only in the middle of the ocean. So, you know, it's the dolphins and whales and all that stuff. For me, in Greenville, North Carolina, that's right, my Charlotte people, hello. You know, I've had it happen a couple times. I think the weirdest one was in Lowe's. Like, I'm just in Lowe's and, you know, I think I'm in the screw aisle and this dad walks up behind me and I thought he was hovering over my shoulder like, man, do you want wood screws or metal? What do you want, man? And he's like, hey, I gotta ask you a question, in a good North Carolina accent. Are you that Josh kid? Yes, sir. How can I help you? Anyway, that's how it went. So it happens. I've never had a bad instance. Like Dawn said, it's almost always good as long as it's not at the urinal.
Yeah, so it's wild when you're a little shy and you start to get recognized, and so it's a blessing, right? Because, you know, like everybody said, if you guys didn't care about us and want to meet us, then, you know, it wouldn't matter. So it's you know, we've had some things though, like we've had people show up at the house, just knock on the door. Yeah. But yeah, I'll tell you, I got recognized in a Ralph's, which is a grocery store in Long Beach, California. The cashier recognized me, right? So it's a cruising city. I figure that makes sense. I got recognized during the pandemic with my mask on, just from the voice, in a FedEx place. And then when I was in a casino in Las Vegas, I got approached by like a really, you know, kind of a stern-looking fellow, and I thought I'd done something wrong at the casino. He was like the head of casino operations. He watched the show, so that was kind of cool. The weirdest thing, and it still makes me uncomfortable to this day, so we moved back to my wife's old hometown where my mother-in-law lives. The first time we're in Walmart, this guy approaches us and he's like, oh my gosh, it's Tony and Jenny from La Lita Loca. And it's like, really? We just got into town. And well, the cool thing is he's here today. Everybody This is Mike, and he lives very close to us, and he's never just showed up at the house. So it's really wild. Yeah, so it's odd, you know, because there's just so many people. You asked about safety concerns. I mean, you think about it in the back of your mind when you're getting approached by a stranger, whether it's going to be something good or something bad. And you know, it's good, but it does put you, like, somebody shows up at your house a couple times, you get a little like, wow, what's going on here? So it's you know, and I wouldn't trade any of it for that, right? You know, it's like it's just something that you have to learn to deal with. But so that's why sometimes on the video I say stuff like, "Hey, don't come to my house." You know, like, you know, I'd love to meet you, but, you know, meet me out in the middle of the cruise ship. You know, don't come to the room or something like that. So it's but yeah, it's just part and parcel. And again, I wouldn't. The good far outweighs the challenges. So it's and I got to know Mike, so it's good.
I don't know that we get the notoriety that maybe these kids do, being out and about. But I think talking about safety, I remember there was a time where Matthew would get on the computer a lot, and I remember one time some kid screenshotted a video of ours and then sent it into the little gaming thing that he was doing and said, "Hey, is this you?" And then a bunch of kids started making fun, and that was kind of a weird moment. Maybe one of the reasons why when they're teens they don't want anything to do with any of what's going on. And but I don't know. I think the biggest concern is when you start to realize that somebody could be watching you, and you get on a cruise ship and you get that feeling like, hey, somebody's over my shoulder. I think they're Sharon. Is that person looking at you, or are they looking at me, or did I just say something, or did I just do something weird? Or did I pick my nose? Is there a picture of that that's going to go online? And that kind of stuff. So you got to be aware of it. But we love meeting people and having people come up and say hi. And everybody said it already, but we've made so many great friends within the community. And so there's never a bad time to come up and interact or anything like that. And maybe one of the most rewarding parts on the other end of that is seeing people that have come together and become friends through us. Like we've done a group cruise, and other people have met each other and become best of friends, and then they cruise together and they create friendships and so on and so on. So I don't know, safety not a big concern. Getting recognized, I know we got recognized on an airplane once, and nothing huge.
Not as much outside the cruise ship, although a few times outside. Like when we were in Hawaii, we were just walking down the streets of Hawaii one time. We ran into someone, and but here and there outside.
No stalking stories to tell.
No.
Nothing like that.
Yeah, no. When Matthew was smaller, we used to be more concerned with it, like about putting him out there. But now that he's older, it's not as much of a concern.
Matthew's a tall kid too. Pretty tall dude. Not like me. Anyway, ours is pretty cool. We've been getting recognized for a while now, and it's kind of nice though sometimes because, like for instance, I just recently developed tinnitus, which is weird, and I hate it. It's a constant ringing in your ear, which kind of sucks. Anyway, I went to the doctor to see about it, and my ENT doctor, Dr. Guillory, yeah, and close enough. And anyway, we're sitting down there, and the doctor comes in, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, man, my daughter follows you, and then all the nurses in here follow you." And I was like, "Oh, cool, so you're gonna be able to fix this thing, right?" It's like, no, he says, "I got tinnitus myself, had it for 30 years. You're pretty much screwed, kid." I'm like, okay, well, this sucks. But anyway, that's really neat, and they're really friendly to you. They give you good service, and that's really nice. We've been recognized at the airport many times, even with masks on. I think we go our little local store, Kroger, there in Alexandria. Live in a little small town. There ain't much to do, and so everybody kind of just watches YouTube, I guess. We get recognized all the time at Kroger, and they're like, "Oh man, hey, I got a vacation rental, in Destin if you guys ever want to come up, or I own a pizza joint." So there's a lot of perks to being recognized, so that's nice. Not that we ever take them up on them or anything like that. I think what was some other ones?
I think the weirdest one for me was we were in IKEA one day in Houston, had masks on and everything, and someone's like, "Hey, are y'all EECC Travels?" I'm like, "How can you even tell? I've got like my face covered." So that was like the most unusual one. But I think like the first time we were like dumbfounded. We're like, "Oh my God, somebody actually recognizes us. Somebody watches our videos and they know who we are." But it's cool, and we just love talking to people. So every now and then you get someone who is timid, and they're like, I hate to bother you, but can I just say?" I'm like, "Of course, always come say hi." We love meeting people. As far as safety, we haven't personally had any safety issues. We don't publish too many personal things. I think, my hair was something that I had to get personal about. And the response to that's just been amazing. That was something that was really tough for me, and I wanted to share that, and I've gotten so much positive feedback, and so many people said that that's meant something to them and touched them, and so I'm really glad that I shared that personal thing. But but you guys being part of our lives is really awesome, so we're glad to meet everybody.
I like the one time when we were, I forget where we were, I think it was a cruise terminal. Somebody noticed us and they like screamed as if we were Tom Cruise. And I was like, God, if only we could get more of that.
I guess I need to give her an introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, Mama Hokum, the lady who gave birth to me. I don't know what she's about to say, so God help me.
Well, I wanted to go back to the most embarrassing moment. Josh is about to get married, so, I have to do this. I have to love on him because, he's moved out of my home, but, he's still my little boy, and he'll always be my little boy. But I had to think back when you said the most embarrassing moment. You don't remember this, probably, but it was our first cruise on the Carnival Victory.
Thank you guys so much.
In 2005. So we were totally green, didn't know anything, sailing out of Miami. Josh was 7, okay? Now, the thing about that...
Oh God, not this story.
Oh yeah, this story. So the thing is, Josh, and that's literally Papa Hokum and I have looked back and we're like, that is what got him into cruising. Because as we were sailing out of Miami on Governor's Cut, he's right there at the front of the ship. And he's told me many times, just standing there looking at the water and things like that, that just spoke to him. Yeah. And that, that really meant a lot to him. And I told him, I said, I think your love of the sea also comes from your grandfather, who was a Navy veteran. So, and served in World War II. So, I feel like that he passed his love of the sea on to Joshua. But the story is, we went to the cruise, we came back, we were in Miami. So, we didn't know anything about Miami that time, and of course Miami was a little more risque than it is now, if you can believe that. We told the concierge, we're like, we want to go to the beach. So the concierge was like, oh, get on the city bus, take you to the beach. We're like, okay. So we get on the bus, of course the bus driver doesn't speak English. We're like, okay, and he's like, beach, and drops us off. So we're like, okay. We walk over and they said, just go to the hotel there, tell them you want an umbrella, pay for an umbrella, you can get on the beach. So we do that, we set it up, everything like that. Jim and Josh decide to go walking down the beach. We're on South Beach, people. Josh is 7 years old.
Many years ago, South Beach.
Yeah, the old South Beach. So they're walking down the beach and Jim tells me the story. He's like, Josh is walking there and he's like, Dad, I like this beach. It's not as soft as the beach in St. Thomas, and oh my God, Daddy, what is that?
It gets better.
Yeah, it gets better, it gets better. So, we're there and they're walking, and of course, a woman in a thong and topless. And so, Jim comes back and he looks at me at the point, he's got this look on his face and he's like, this is South Beach, honey. He's like, they're topless. And of course, Josh in his 7-year-old eyes is going, his sister is sitting over there and Josh looks and he's like, Mom, everybody's topless. Don't you want to take your top off? And I'm like, no! And I'm like, and so then the lady next to us proceeds to take her top off and she's laying there. And of course, Josh is just there going. And I looked at
Knew
Josh.
what I wanted.
Yeah. And I looked at Josh and I said, Josh, I said, it is skin. I said, everybody has it. I said, you have seen me walk around the house? What is wrong? And he said, yeah, but Mommy, her boobies don't look nothing like yours.
I said it.
Josh story.
Some honkers on that woman, okay? Right? Oh, God. Anyway,
But we do love Josh.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, Mama Hokum, let me get you down here. I want you to fall. She likes to fall everywhere she goes. Thank you so much. Take that mic away from her.